Yes, people, it is me, Mr. Rena Star. I'm back with another vlog and just wanted to do a quick video because I must have been at the gym and I overheard a conversation. Well, let's just say it's not about just overhearing. So this guy was talking to another guy, and they were just at the gym. Flaxseed, good for your hair, but it stinks. But you know what? It's good for your hair. So that's what I'm using right now. Flaxseed oil, linseed oil. I don't know why it's called alsi. It's called alsi, linseed oil. But yeah, it's supposed to be good for you. Um, Apparently, it's been used for years by people. So anyway, I was just, minding my business, doing my workout, and this man was just having a conversation with someone in the gym, like on the side bit. And he must have asked him, "Are you single?" And he said yes. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm single because I'm fed up of women who, you know, what did he say? He said, I'm fed up of women that have past traumas and seem to take it out on me." And like, this is a grown man, like in his 50s. If you still, if you haven't, so he's talking about his personal experience, and that's why he's just given up and just fed up of them. And but he was saying it like in a loud, like really disrespectful, like incel type of way that you hear on social media, on YouTube. He was making sure everybody heard. He's like, these women aren't even a 10. They think they're a 10, but they're a 4. Really, really disrespectful way of speaking. And I was just minding my business, doing my gym work. When he said that, I just looked at him and turned my head. But then he was becoming louder and louder, and he obviously wanted the whole gym to hear him. And at that point, yeah, he's like, yeah, most of them are fat, really, like really negative incel language. And then I said, "Excuse me, you can't." That's when I interrupt, because I'm a bit of a feminist, but because he was talking so boldly and so rudely, I interrupted and I said, "Excuse me, you can't say that about all women. That's because of your personal experience." He said, "Well, not all women, but most women." But just like you said, you're generalizing, and the language you're using is really negative. You're going to be influencing the younger generation. So but just be mindful how you talk about women. And then I said, "You came from a woman, so why would you talk like that about women, like about talk?" And then he's like, "Yeah, but they think they're a 10, but really they're a 4." I said, "Well, human beings are unique. You can't rate them. They're not this. You can't. They can't be marketed like no human being can be rated 0 to 10. It's just wrong, because yeah, we're individual people with souls. Like I said, you're just listening to what the influence of social media and YouTube, and you're using those terms, and then I went deeper, and then I said to him, because he kept saying like fat, and it's obvious he's talking about black women, because obviously there's the other kind of women he probably goes for, and he's just obviously influenced by the negative algorithm on social media, and just using those, and especially that Kevin Samuel, horrible man from America that's now passed away. But yeah, he was like, "No, I'm fed up," and he was just saying it loudly. And then I said to him, I said, "The first religion on this planet was a fat black woman. So this so-called fat black woman that you hate, you know, that they used to be worshipped. That was the first religion on the planet. If you go anywhere around the planet, there's a fat black woman that they all like worship as a deity and stuff. And it's obviously racial, like the way he mentions that. And it's like, so, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure a long time ago they did worship a fat black woman, but times have changed, and we've learned that they need to lose weight." And it's just like, and I said to him, "Who's they?" Um, and he just sounded so like really rude, like, and then and then he's like, "Okay, you got your point, blah blah blah." I said, "But whatever you're saying, there's young people here in the gym. And he's clearly a senior, and he's saying really negative things about women, and he's influencing them. And I know it came from the internet, because that rhetoric is being spread online. And me being a proper feminist, like, I just couldn't take it anymore when he just started. I was minding my business, and at first I just looked at him, gave him a dirty look, and started laughing, trying to concentrate. But then he just got louder, and obviously he wanted attention. And then I said, look, you can't say that, blah blah blah, because you came from a woman. Why would you hate women? Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, you didn't just fall from the sky. You came from a woman. So why are you hating? You like this rhetoric. And then what did I say? Um, yeah. And then yeah, I made my point across, and then he's like, okay, what's your name? Blah blah blah. And I just gave him a fake name, and then I said, oh, I'm a feminist. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, do you know what? Like, we need to go and contact YouTube and Google, because I'm fed up of this rhetoric, and it's affecting Black women, because this talk is so negative, and it encourages like incel behavior and femicide. So we just need to like stop these men talking scat. Just because you've had a bad experience with dating shouldn't mean the reason why you hate all women. And I mentioned, I was like, well, that's how God designed us. Like, women choose who they want. Like, that's why you have to go to them. And then, he's like, yeah, but they're not even. Oh my God. So, I said that's how God designed us. Like, it's the woman who chooses. Like, she has a right to say no. This is not right for me. Like, you shouldn't be disheartened, and like, because that's how God designed us. Like, women shouldn't have to say yes to somebody just because they're conventionally not a 10, or whatever the world said. And then he's like, these Western women, he kept saying, these Western women. I said, well, the whole world is Western, because they own the world right now. That's, they're controlling who what is the ideal woman. And you know and there you're saying, oh, these Western women, but you're clearly following Western ideal by saying, this woman isn't a 10, or they're overweight. So therefore, like, in this stupid hierarchy, these women that are supposedly on the lower rank should just be grateful that somebody wants them. Nonsense, nonsense. It's like, that's BS. Like, come on now. Like, we don't fall for that. So then he's all like, oh, these Western, but then it's like, and I almost, and then I see where all this hate come from. Like, it's really being pushed on social media. And then the other guy, he's obviously more intelligent, because I think he's from like a francophone country. So he couldn't understand what this man was on about, because this man was British, black British, and this guy was a francophone black African man. And he couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong with this man. And like, he clearly understood what I said. And then when he left, um, he came up to me and said, I was really baffled by what the man was saying. And then I started to mention to him, why he thinks like that, where it came from. I explained to him it's from social media. There is a whole like incel movement, and it's targeting predominantly the black community to hate where they came from. Like, and this problem is causing like African Americans to go and, they call it passport bros, to leave the country and find a non-Western black person, or I don't know, exotic person of color. And it's no coincidence that YouTube and Google, are promoting this content. And I explained to him, like, a lot of these people so this man probably heard the point, like, he probably heard it on YouTube. So he watched the video, and then he got more content being pushed to him of that rhetoric, of that negativity. But I just think, and I said to him, what, as a senior guy, as an older guy saying that out loud when there's younger guys here, he should know better. He shouldn't be saying stuff like that in front of younger people because he's influencing them. And these young people are going to have that negative, disgusting incel attitude and treat women badly. And so I had to say something. I had to say something. So I put him in his place. I said, look, no, you can't say that. You can't talk like that. Like, stop. And then he's like, I know what you mean. And I said to him, I went even more deeper. I said, he's talking. I said the devil's talking through him. I said the devil is actually talking through this man. Because if you look at history, the devil hated Eve, the first woman on this earth. And that's why we're seeing so much like anti-female, anti-black women content online. And these men are out here having evil thoughts about the women that they came from, and having that disrespectful, hateful, bad spirit. And you can see it in the way they look at women and the way they treat women, who they deem as perfect, and how they, and it's not right. This conditioning is happening in real life, and we're seeing it happen. And we need to stand up to it. I mean, and then the francophone black guy, he was like, when he said he doesn't like fat women, I was thinking, but some fat women look good. Why he can't generalize all fat women as not being attractive? And some people carry it well, and even if they're fat, like, it could be hormonal issues, or they could have had kids. So he's a proper African, and he reminds me of Cheikh Diop Antop. I think he comes from his country, speaks French, so he couldn't understand this millennial black British guy hating on black women. And then and then he said to me, when I said to him the first religion was a black woman, he goes, he knows that. Like, I said, yeah. So these kind of black women that you hate were worshipped once upon a time. So, I said it that way. And I just think, like, more of us needs to stand up. But obviously, like, non-black people are not going to stand up, and they're just going to, because it's not going to affect their community. It's affecting the black community, and gender wars. It's creating gender wars, and it's just like, I'm sorry, like, it is so wrong, and it's affecting young minds. And for a grown man to feel that way, when you come from a black woman, you just sound silly. You sound silly. You sound like a proper smackhead, like. But yeah, I wasn't having it. I wasn't having that speak. And it's to boldly say out loud, like, you want everyone to hear your frustration when there's young people. And these are the kind of men that are influencing the next generation. And we're going to see I mentioned I said, you don't have any, I said to the francophone black guy, I said to him, you don't have any young nephews, cousins, because this is the kind of content they're seeing online. We don't. I said, this is a big problem. And he's like, and then I had to explain to him how the algorithm system works on YouTube. And I said, so you think that YouTube is pushing this content? I said, yes, 100%. Because the more they talk about this content, the more YouTube pays them. So it's not a coincidence. It's happening in real life. And then I even mentioned the result of femicide. What's going to happen is more domestic violence, more femicide. Let's get to the point. So this is an attack on the black community to create gender wars, to create animosity between black men and black women, and to be even more metaphysical, it is the devil speaking through these people, basically. Because if you look at the original sin and, the devil's hate for the woman, the black women are being attacked on social media. And I think people need to start standing up to YouTube and Google and protesting, because Google is pushing this shit more and more. They're pushing it. They're pushing this incel, anti-black women, anti-female. And let's be honest, when they choose, when they it is obviously anti-women, but it affects more black women. You know, when the incel movement is predominantly anti-black women because she's the one that's a lot more closer to Eve as being the original woman. So yeah, no, I just think that more of us, people should not let comments like that slide. I know I don't normally do this, but like he just felt so bold to say it out loud, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, and I said to him, like, you're lucky because I'm a feminist. Like, what you did is you just broke all rules. Like, you come from a woman, um, woman gave birth to you, and so why would you hate yourself? Like, you came from a woman, and the whole purpose of you is to worship a woman. You know, you did, yes, historically, not to bring down a woman and then tell her, oh, she's a 10 or 4. And, you know, I'm like, you can't rate human beings. They're not cattle. Like, they're not like a product. That's demonic. That's demonic. And you can't talk to human beings like that. Like, I put him in this place. I was like, point, point, point. And I was like, what you on about? And on top of that, you're trying to influence the young generation with that BS. Like, let's be honest. Let's see, let's be honest. That's just because you didn't get a luck. And I'm like, and I made it clear. I said to him, like, it's your job to chase a woman. Oh, I've chased, and they don't want me because of their past drama. They've got baggages, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like a carbon copy of what he's heard on social media because I see the nonsense here. And it just shows you the influence of these negative narratives that are being pushed on Black Western people to cause aminosity. Like, there is a growing aminosity between Black men and Black women, and it's concerning, it's wrong, it's affecting our communities. There's a lot of hate, and we need to wake up as to what's happening and put a stop to this nonsense. And if you hear any guy talking smack like that, put him in his place and tell him you're an idiot. Shut up. First of all, you're 50, 60, and you still don't have children. You don't have a wife. He probably has kids, but has probably abandoned them. And then you have the audacity to hate all women. Like, it's just not normal. Like, so I just think more of us need to speak up against this. And also, we need to start protesting and holding Google to account. White people cannot just sit in the sideline and pretend that they don't know what they're doing. They're instigating this hardcore. They're instigating this. They did this in the Trump election. They turned Black men against the Democrats. They turned Black men and Black women, like, and the Black community is allowing these outside forces to come in between them and attack each other and using incel language to hate on their own people, further dividing the community. And look who makes these apps. It's not Black people that made the apps. And it just seems to be pushed further and further on the algorithm, and people are being rewarded with more money to promote this demonic point of view. So call it out. If you notice any elder talking nonsense, and these so-called mentors of Black men, like, seriously, women, you need to stop letting your young men be influenced by these broken, old, bitter men, because you don't know what they're telling them. They could be telling them this BS, and I just think more Black women need to take ownership and control as to what you can say. Like, you can't come from a Black woman and chat shit no more. Like, seriously, you came from a Black woman and you're talking smack, and you don't have the audacity to see that you're being manipulated on social media, on YouTube, and you're coming out with garbage that's been fed through you through these algorithms. And I just think we need to educate more of our community to wake up and stop being so dumb and thick, and stop openly saying things with your chest, that is, like, garbage, like pure, utter garbage. we should really make a stand as black people, black men, black women. I don't see any other communities will probably laugh at it because, why should they? Realistically, why should they care? You know, the women that they're talking about are not from their community. So it's not up to them. You don't see them talking smack like this on social media or public. You don't see that. It's always like black people, black men. It's one of our own that does disparaging things to humiliate um, women and to talk down on them. You only see it. So it just shows you the difference. So I just think more black women need to call it out, especially black men need to call out this type of behavior. Don't laugh with these people. They should be shamed. In fact, they need to be, when they talk like that, they need to be put on like a different island, like they used to do with lepers, so that nobody gets contaminated. These men need to also be segregated away from the community when they have this stupid point of view. And I feel like there's a couple on YouTube. There's a famous black guy, who's a property developer. He has a white girlfriend. His white girlfriend purposely sends him anti-black women content to rile him up. Like she's another one. So non-black people promoting femicide of black women, and she's weird. A lot of these men are with racists, and we see it here in the UK. And he's so arrogant. Like he's so arrogant the way he talks about his community, and she's there encouraging this nonsense. So who's next to him? The Bible clearly says, you know, put down your strange and foreign wives, like because they're corrupting your heart. She's 100% corrupted his heart. She's so nasty. She keeps sharing like anti-black women videos, and he's like, "My girl sent me. My girl sent me." Your girl's racist. Wake the f up. And then it rallies him up. It makes him hate black women. And these are the kind of people that have children. Like, mind you, they have mixed race children. Their mother's racist. The man's been brainwashed to hate his own, where he comes from. Um, they say openly things like fat, and these men are just so clueless. Like they're all here in the UK. We have it in America. I think they're a little bit more respectful in America, but even though it's still there, but then they have a larger black community, stronger black community. So but even still, they have such a humongous population. What is YouTube doing? YouTube is promoting a fraction of that community that is an incel, and is promoting anti-black women videos. So we're seeing it in America and in the UK. So I just wanted to highlight that